Tettleton looking to pass, and he loses the ball. And he'll just dive out of the back of the end zone. Safety.
We talked about what a dangerous part of the field that was, because if you don't get a first down, the other team's going to get great field position. Here they're going to get points and field position. You can see the ball just slips out. It's probably a little cooler than he's used to right now. Ball slips out. He wisely decides to get it out of there because it allows them, rather than get tackled and injured or lose the football, now they can kick it away. They give up 2 points, probably the lesser evil.
So a mistake, but then a smart play to avoid the touchdown for the Utah State defense. And Tettleton, the first safety that Utah State has recorded all season long, the first 2 points of this game for the Aggies.
The problem for Ohio is they had established so much momentum with that 4th down stop. They've lost that now, put points on the board for the team. And in addition, Utah State is going to get the ball in great field position coming off this punt or kick from the 20-yard line.
And Mike, part of the calculus Utah State went for it on 4th and goal from the 1 is, even if we don't get it, we put the other offense in a very tough spot.
You're absolutely right. It's okay to leave it inside the 1-yard line. It's a lot of good things can happen for a defense when you pin the offense down that far.
So Gary Anderson disappointed his offense did not come through, but his defense gets him 2 points. Well, Capital One Bowl week continues Tuesday on ESPN. Florida International takes on the Marshall Thundering Herd in a Beef O'Brady's Bowl, St. Petersburg. Capital One Bowl week on ESPN, ESPN Radio, ESPN3, also streaming live on WatchESPN.com. Tettleton, after losing that ball and going out of the back of the end zone for 2 points for the Aggies. They're going to use, Ohio will, its punter Paul Hershey to kick the ball to Williams and Jacobs, who are back deep to receive for Utah State.
And that's fairly typical on safeties.
And it's a shank punt off the side of his foot. It takes a good bounce as far as Ohio's concerned, but not a great result. The flag is thrown as it bounces out of bounds. So we'll wait for the penalty ruling.
Coach Solich had told me the inconsistency of Paul Hershey has really got him worried. 42 of his 48 punts have either been fair caught or down inside the 20, but he really doesn't kick a lot that are returnable. In this case, very bad result.
Now the head referee, part of this SEC officiating crew, and wagers.
Kick out of bounds on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty from the spot where the ball went out of bounds. First down.
Utah State will get the ball back. Let's check in again with Heather Cox. Heather?
Guys, you just saw the ball slip out of Tyler Tettleton's hands for a safety. Frank Solich immediately came up to him when he got to the sideline, and Tyler said, hey, my hands were slippery. Then Tettleton went to the equipment chest and took out a stick and rubbed on a stickum-type substance on that right hand. Also used a towel quite a bit to try and keep those hands nice and dry.
So we'll definitely pay attention to that. And Mike, you mentioned the cold temperatures. It is very cool. It's also very dry here in Boise.
Well, and I think the quarterback probably had worked himself up into a lather. Probably was perspiring. The ball may have come back to the center. You know, I don't think that's going to be a problem. He'll dry it off and dry his hands and maybe put some talc powder or whatever the case may be. But obviously, possession of the football and handling it is essential for both of these offenses. Beautiful
Day in Idaho. Utah State, great field position after the kick, right at midfield. And the Aggies, with Adam Kennedy at quarterback, trying to move the ball for a second consecutive time. Kennedy looks downfield, avoids the pressure, and completes the pass. Morrison down to the 30 of Ohio for a gain of 20 yards.
That's a perfect Adam Kennedy play. He's laid back, he's easygoing, he's cool under pressure. He buys time in the pocket, and his decision-making down the stretch is the reason Utah State has won 5 consecutive games.
And a great start for the junior quarterback. Took over for the Aggies in their comeback victory against Hawaii, the turning point of Utah State's season. A handoff to Turbin up the middle. And Robert Turbin, a gain of almost 10 on first down.
If anybody's wondering real quick on what Tettleton rubbed on his hands, that is legal. It's a legal substance to help dry out the hands, so there was no problem with that.
Tettleton, who fumbled the snap, really not the snap, as he went back to pass out of the end zone for the safety. Now Utah State trying to make that mistake really hurt with the ball back for the Aggies on offense. Kennedy, another quick throw right side with a block and stumbling forward Jacobs.
Chuck Jacobs is their fastest receiver. He's the guy they really want to get the ball to on that wide screen look because he can really fly. Ohio doing a great job. They didn't stop the first down, but they limited the damage on that play.
Jacobs checks out here for this first down play. Michael Smith is in as the tailback now for the Aggies. Already over 100 yards of total offense in this first quarter. The flags thrown before that play started.
False start, 79 on the offense, 25 yards. Get back.
Set the starting lineups for the Ohio Bobcats. Have been on the field a lot already in this first quarter. Tremaine Scott, probably their best pass rusher up front. The linebackers, we've already mentioned his name several times. Noah Keller, 4-year starter for Ohio. And a banged up defensive backfield. Jared Moore, though, the junior, he's getting healthy and he's been playing well lately. First and 15 for Utah State. Smith again in the backfield, and a handoff is to Michael Smith, the senior. Tackled by Keller for a gain of 3, maybe 4 yards back near the original line of scrimmage.
Keller also one of those linebackers that has 3 100-plus tackle seasons under his belt. Going to take his game to the next level. Captain, he has played beat up the entire year. Had some hamstring problems, shoulder problems, but he's just a warrior. Always on the field, always around the ball.
Huge difference in the offensive production already. First quarter of the famous Idaho Potato Bowl in Boise. Safety for the Aggies, and now looking for more offense here, more points. Inside the 20 of Ohio. Smith takes a handoff and is drilled and tackled by Tremaine Scott, the standout along that Ohio defensive line.
This is a great job.